Hit the button. There we are. So, it looks like we're actually working this time. Hooray. I wish it was working yesterday, but c'est la vie, I suppose. C'est la vie. So, what's there to talk about today? Well, yesterday I was intending to play this, but for some reason my ISP decided that yesterday was the day the revolution would begin in earnest, so that ended up not happening. And because of that, well, it was a shame because I had all this stuff I was looking forward to. I had effectively shot the day, honestly. I had given up on it because I had spent 4 hours trying to finish up a video game and then realized, I also spent a bunch of time playing Halo and then didn't have much time for video stuff. So you know what, we'll just play Pillars. And then someone apparently really wanted me to get back to audio editing, so probably for the best. So, last time we were in Pillars of Eternity, I got steamrolled by a really difficult combat encounter. And because of that, I decided that, you know what, we're going to call it here. And what we're going to do is this. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump out, I should say. I'm going to mull over what exactly I should do. And then I'm going to shake up the party arrangement in some direction. I know that I shouldn't bring Aloth along based on a warning from chat that I may end up getting spoiled on something important. So to that end, what I have done is I've gone through... Hey, what's this? I'll have to check that later. I decided to go through and look... Wait, I missed a dare somehow in all that? Let's give him something random. There's bound to be some random boot that could be helpful in here. Oh yes, give him this. So my thinking is, I went through pretty much all of this, and if I could enchant a weapon, I did. If there was a soulbound weapon that would prove to be very freaking useful, I put it on someone. And I also rearranged the party, so in the place of Aloth, I have taken out the Grieving Mother, who I'm pretty sure will serve us well given that she has the Dominate spell, and therefore can turn some of our enemies against each other. So hopefully that'll help tip the scales. And then, in exchange for Maneha, I wanted someone tankier, so I brought out Palagina. So, my thinking is, we can have this as an opportunity to say, hey, things didn't quite work out last time, but we'll shake up the party. We'll give the party tools by which they can hopefully say, get the hell out of my face. And with any luck, it'll make the difference.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
With any luck, it'll make the difference when we go into the White March and try and clear that up. To prove that this will work, we're gonna go stomp on some mercenaries. Because we've been going pretty hard to the paint with the White March over the last few sessions, so I figured, you know what? We're gonna do something completely different for a little bit. We're gonna use this as a test run to be sure that, yes, my thinking of how this is going to play out is a good one, because there's probably very similar team compositions here as what we'll find in the White March. We know that combat is pretty much inevitable.
Hope you're not expecting much.
So, my character will be more toward the back.
Thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
And we are going to fight these mercenaries. Oh look, it's going a hell of a lot better than last time. It's going a hell of a lot better this time. I wonder why that would be. Almost as if I thought ahead. For once. And then... Wait, that's a perk encounter? What the hell? You... Oh my god. Yeah. I think I have chosen wisely.
I'm ready.
I think that I have chosen wisely. So, let's go skulking about. Get ourselves into trouble.
For the Republic! Split!
There we go.
None shall stop us!
Oh look, the benefit of what I got. Clear out!
More than raw!
Get over here. I should set you both to aggressive. Kaboom! I think this is working out nicely.
They'll never know I'm here.
I think this is working out quite nicely now. Baratheon scripture. And just a random cape. A body lies beneath a blood-soaked shroud. It reeks of rot and infection. That's random.
Not a sound.
The Archers Vox con...
Ooh! Something a little stronger to deal with. Alright, once again, we can use clear... Actually, wait, that only works once per rest? That's the... Oh, right, I gave you a dominate spell, didn't I? Wait, why is there a random mode? Oh geez, you're taking a lot of damage. Knock this guy down. Durance, you may want to make sure the grieving mother's okay. There we go. If you're gonna get that close, may as well have some fun, right?
Lava
And you can risk it. Chanter. Great. He needs to be dealt with before he can summon too much. Oh hey, you're using the shield bash on that shield. Nice. Yeah, he's in a frenzy. That's okay.
My mind feels sharp.
Oh man, even if Dominate doesn't last very long, it makes a difference, doesn't it? I am quite happy with how this is playing out now.
Easy does it.
Now I can actually approach, perhaps. This trebuchet smells of fresh pine and hemp. Its beams are sticky with sap. More mercenaries? This ought to be interesting. I just realized I haven't been quick saving.
Hold! He's got this far. I ought to have a look at him at least.
The man before you has the bearing of authority, and his casual command has the guards immediately lowering their weapons. Even so, they continue to watch you warily.
Commander Ballerin, leader of the Torn Bannermen. You've been a right pain in the balls, whoever you are. What do I call you?
Well met, Commander. My name is Alanar.
Huh. Leagues from the city, and here's a civil tongue. Good man. I've lost a lot of fucking men out there. Consul Hot's one thing, but why are you here cutting down my soldiers? I figure I can guess, but please, let's hear it from the man himself.
Your mercenaries attacked me without cause.
My men had orders to warn off any intruders, without unnecessary bloodshed.
What is going on outside?
Every one of them knows I expect my commands followed to the fucking...
Hang on a sec. What the heck is going on outside? I'm gonna mute myself for a little bit.
No, I'd say you're here for the same reason as the rest of us. A powerful artifact, hidden within the keep. That's bait to tempt any beast. But the artifact is ours. Whoever set their tongue to wagging about it, they did you a great wrong. Nobody comes into our camp and lives. I think that's about the end of it. You ready? I'll make it quick for you.
Alright, I think it's safe to turn this back on. Wait, I have some questions before we begin.
Suppose there's no harm in that. I don't promise I'll answer.
What do you know about this artifact?
Only that the phylactery's worth a fucking fortune. More than just your usual piece of Anguithan history, I mean. No idea what it does. Don't much care. Our employer wants it found, and delivering it's gonna see us paid enough coin to buy one of the republics.
How goes the siege?
After tactical advice, was going well enough at first. But the moment we cracked open the outer wall, Consul Hot's pets started clawing their way out of the ruins, caught the first wave off guard, and carved them to gobbets. We've pressed them back to the keep for the time being, but it's delayed our victory. Once the reinforcements arrive, we will storm the keep in force. It's just a matter of time. Could prop your corpse up somewhere after. You could scare off the looters.
What were these creatures?
Dead men, walking and fighting like the living. They've armor thick enough to foul our arrows, and they can conjure spells to burn a man alive.
He looks out toward the nearby hill.
At night, you can see them on the bluff, like a line of torches, their eyes burning. They don't come down into our camp. They wait up there for us to come to them.
What of Consul Hot? Does he live?
Good question. No one's got a clear sense of that. We haven't seen him on the field of battle. The old fuck may have gotten himself eaten by the dead men. He could be controlling them. Or the first volley of stones left him crushed under his own keep. Won't know until we get in there and see for ourselves.
We don't have to be enemies. I could help you.
You slaughter my fucking men and then come begging after work? They'd have my guts for bowstrings if I took you on. And I deserve it. You came ready to kill. Don't lose your nerve now.
Who do you work for?
Someone without much love for Consul Hot, huh? Let's just say they have a lot of coin to throw around. And high standards. Thing is, discretion's included in the service. You'll just have to make do with me.
So be it.
I'll give Consul Hot your regards.
Real quick. Well, whoever these guys are, whatever this artifact is, I can't necessarily... Well, I need to be very careful about it. Alright, let's see what we can do. But how to...
Hey there. Off. Yawn. Thinking I'm doing the job.
Ow. Yeah, that should distract him for a little bit. Whoa, how is Pallegina already taken so much damage? What's she standing in? They unhands yourself quickly. Oh shoot, my nonsense is turned off. That's not good. Luckily, the berserkers and whatnot are helping. This is gonna be close. Good lord.
My mind feels shot.
Alright, throw this out, see if it can help. Also, if I'm gonna throw spells around, I should make sure it's hitting everybody. Ooh, this looks like it'll be useful. Throw it down. Try this. What are you doing? Let me shoot this guy. Okay, shoot at this guy. That should help. Man, Adair is not liking this. Adair is not having a good day, is it? Nope, and he's down. Pallegina, get him back up. Oh wow, that does a lot for you. Whew!
I'm ready.
I am quite happy with the improvements I made to my group. Wow, that made a difference. This trebuchet smells of fresh pine and hemp. Its beams are still sticky with
Good.
sap. Ah, crap. I'm gonna regret not quick saving him, aren't I? Probably. Throw out distractions. Oh geez, Durance ran in? Oh god. Durance, I think you need... Oh right, you can't shove him away. Not easily, anyway. So many duplicates, it's hard to tell what's even going on.
Yeah? Yeah?
Better do something, Durance. What, are you stunned out or something? There we go. Now we're actually getting some healing juice in.
Mow it. Mow it.
Whew. Oh, you're still alive? Why can't my target do that? Oh, now you're dead. Nice.
I'm ready.
Alright. First, just in case you can be interrupted while resting, which I don't expect to be, but just in case I am.
I'm ready.
Hireling payday, that all? Kill. I would say the improvements I have made have borne fruit. Although, to be fair, I am at least able to prepare to approach these battles on more ideal terms, I guess, to put it simply. I don't have to worry as much. Oh, hello. Should really have you stand back with a crossbow.
The ashes vox conqueram.
Nice. It is so nice to have a bunch of easy combat after all the crap I've just gone through. It is so nice to have easy combat. Just go in, raise hell. Refuse to elaborate. Leave. That's the plan, really. And it's beautiful.
Easy does it.
There we go. I'm probably not even getting enough experience to be worth even doing this. Actually, I'm close to another level, I guess. Oh dear, we've got people flanking. Who can we pull? Alright, who's that there? There. Oh boy. Another bunch that threaten us. Heal yourself. Adair, sweeping. Now that I've done that... This looks useful. Alright, there's Adair. Knock this guy over. Keep at him. Keep at him. Oh dear!
Try something else.
I don't know why the game decided to just completely go insane. But you know what? Good lord, why did the game suddenly start stuttering like mad? What did they throw down? Or whatever it is, it just killed Backlog really damn fast. Alright, I'm just gonna go berserk then. Attack him. Oh, turn this on. Now get it. Wait, where am I? I've reverted back. That's not working. There we go.
Hey.
How was that?
Hey there.
So much loot, so little time.
Good.
Keeping an eye out.
Alright, that should be enough time to... Alright, our health endurance is back to full. Why am I hearing fighting? What, is there a training field nearby? Possibly. Yes.
Vi aces vox converano.
Yeah, no. Should get you to aggressive as well. Just shove the grieving mother.
I'll just have to try something else.
There we go. I like that.
They'll never know I'm here.
Quiet?
I'm ready.
Well, that was unexpected. Fortunately, Durance is now in a position
I
where
understand.
we really shouldn't be fighting.
I'll take a peek.
Yeah, let's fight anyway. See what kind of trouble we can get into on this last bout. So we've got just a training ground over here. Huh. Cave of some kind. And what the heck, let's go inside. So what lies in this way? What lies this way? Steel Spine Magus? I don't think we're winning that, even if I had everything ready to go right off the bat. Okay, now that we know about that, I suppose that is the end of our bout. I don't think we're ready to take on that kind of nonsense yet. Besides, I feel that I have proven my point. I have bolstered my units considerably, in the hopes that such bolstering will allow me an easier time dealing with the nonsense that I experienced in the White March campaign. So now that I have demonstrated that, I'm going to head back to Cadnua to restock. unsigned letter. Commander Baylorin, proceed to Cragholt with utmost haste. Consul Hot will not willingly part with the Ingwithan phylactery, but you must secure it by any means necessary. Be warned that all previous attempts at acquiring the artifact have met with abject failure. We know very little about the phylactery, save that it is nearly indestructible. With this in mind, I would recommend using your considerable forces to lay siege to Cragholt. Once Consul Hot is dead, you may retrieve the phylactery from what remains of its tower. Delivery of the artifact is your primary charge, but definitive proof of Consul Hot's demise shall entitle you to a substantial bonus. Well, we'll see before too long. For now, it would seem that I've reached the end of what I can reasonably handle here. So, we'll head back to Cadnua. Huh? One last group of people. Very difficult now that I look at this. Wow, am I still... Okay, there we go.
I'm ready.
I just missed a few strays.
Ah.
Cool. So, now that that's been seen to, we'll head back to Cadnua briefly, just to get a rest bonus. Actually, now that I think of it, I wonder if the grieving mother has anything more to say. It's been a while since I've done anything with her lately.
Last thing the Deerwood needs is another
Your thoughts
foreign
must
colony.
flow deep. Your mind comes bearing. It is because... And what did you see in my memories? I would... And are you? That is a question.
And if there is no way to heal it, what then? I will be there, and you will do what must be done. You were given your sight so that you may watch the world, and you will tend it. The children shall have their voice again. If your will is weak, then I shall strengthen it.
The birthing bell.
I'm
Alright,
ready.
looks like I can't get too much more then. Do athletics plus... Oh, what would be the most useful? I'm thinking athletics and con.
I'm ready.
Alright. Abbey of the Fallen... Actually, no, let's go to the Foundry first. Get a bunch of Durgan steel. That was about the only thing I couldn't bolster throughout my throughout my enchantments. May as well just gather all the Durgan steel I can, right?
I understand.
There we go. Now that that's been seen to, anywhere else we can go? I guess just back up to the Great Hall and to the Battery Watchtower. Actually, I don't think I've really explored all that much around here. Wonder if there's anything... Is there anything interesting worth exploring before we head out? I think I'm gonna check real quick, just to be on the safe side. I'm pretty sure there isn't anything important, but just in case. Just workers. Just a metric ton of workers. Horrible. This dwarf gives you a quick nod as he smears the grease and soot from his fingers on his apron. A copper chain dangling from his ear sparkles red in the firelight. I know who you are. Wouldn't be in this place if it weren't for you. He rubs the chain on his ear, flashing a half smile. What can I do for you? What is it that you do here? I'm running the excavation of the lower levels and everything else around here. Supplies, the kitchen, quarters. When you need something, you come to me. Ooh, what's this? +3 intellect. Ooh, let's get that for Aloth. Nice.
A simple test. I can do that. A simple test.
Not a lot in here. I'll have to come back with Aloth later. And looks like there really is nothing here unless I just want to loot the place. Again. Alright then. Let us thus make our way onward.
You work for the Dukes of the Valian Republics, huh?
Ah, for as long as they will allow.
Must be nice always knowing who you're supposed to serve.
Well, there are 5 of them, but even so, knowing who is easier than knowing how.
I don't want to trigger that nonsense even retroactively. Alrighty, next up, we go and get ourselves right in proper mold.
I'm ready.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
The Abbey of the Fallen Moon. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The fun begins. Or continues, as the case may be. As practice, we will go and clear out a bunch of the Andrites. Just make sure that we've been thorough with the area. That should act as good practice for the kind of nonsense that we'll be dealing with further in. So, let's get in there and cause some havoc. Why did Durance run in? I really need to be more careful than that. Whew. Bunch of damage already, huh? Well, I'm prone. Let's see, what should I do next? Great, you've been engaged. What to do? Well, we can have Durance turn around and lob stuff at him, but that might not work. My character's still stunned out? That's great. Alright. turn the Tidal Fist against them for a little bit. That should hopefully make a difference. Now switch to your ranged weapons, both of you, and shred this guy. Alright, turn on the AI, give yourself a sword, and just start smacking. Oh yes, I much prefer this team composition. I greatly prefer this team composition. I'm getting so much.
Good. Such as
Whoops. So much for that. Interesting to hear a remix of that tavern song. Phew.
Margaren's fire casts light in dark places.
Alrighty. Actually, wait, I can probably look at what he was gonna say. Not seen or heard or anything like it even in your Glonfile. Interesting. Oh geez, that's a lot. Now I just gotta stay alive, right? Oh, I don't have any party AI set right now, that's a problem. Maybe I'm not as prepared as I thought, holy crap. Or maybe the problem is I just let my character wander into his death. One of those two.
6 on the death.
Yeah, I'm not winning that. Do I care to win this fight? Honestly, no, I don't care to. Let's just focus on the main trouble here. Getting past that one really difficult fight. Because bear in mind, it is not required that I win against every single character. If I can, I may prefer to, but it is not a necessity to win every single fight imaginable. Hell, depending on my choices, I don't even necessarily have to fight these guys. I don't think. I don't know, maybe I do. There could be something that I don't know about. So, let's make a quick save. Alright, so now I've got the Woodland Trails resting bonus and my damage reduction bonus from camping. Both of those should be enough to see me through the nonsense that awaits. I hope. And if not, I guess we'll find out real damn quickly, really quickly, won't we? I suppose so. Here we go.
You've made a grave mistake.
Funny, I was about to say the same to you. There we go. Now that that's been dropped, let's lead with some distractions. Oh, nice, that worked! On a good number of them, too.
I'll just have to try something else.
Now, what next to try? I don't know how useful those are. Well, if you're just gonna wander around like a crazy person, I'll just have Zawa focus on a stiller target. Or a more stiller target, I should say. Alright, what do we got? Zawa's stunned. Adair looks like he's doing fine. Palagina's looks like she's doing fine. Alright, that should cause some trouble. Hopefully it doesn't affect us. It doesn't look like it is, though. Alright, it looks like we're actually winning this. Oh crap. Durin sustained inconvenience. Okay, turn off party AI. Switch to Maul mode. Yes!
I'm
It seems like we have almost won. Oh my gosh. Literally one turn. Literally one attempt. We change up our team composition and actually bolster our forces, and literally it's only one attempt. CRPGs. A voice from the deep. Reach the reliquary in the Abbey of the Fallen Moon.
Ah.
I guess that's an achievement. We did it. We did it. That looks important. To the halls of presence.
I used to have this big hound, like to dig for bones. Well, he'd be real excited right about now.
I'm sure. Judging by the distance to the nearby skull, a tremendous force severed this vertebrae from the rest of the giant body. Cracks of this jawbone suggest that a forceful blow separated from its skull. Yeah, that looks like it'll take us back down. Maybe that would take us away as well. Lodged between rows of crystalline rock, a large fragment of metal protrudes. It looks as though it might be possible to pry it loose. At your touch, the splinter of metal begins to glow orange. Heat surges up your hands and arms and envelops you with such intensity you feel as though you are melting down. The heat spreads to the world around you, turns it orange and then yellow and then white. The ground, the sky, everything around you drips in molten globs and begins to take shape beneath you as if in an invisible mold. You and the shard are the last thing to melt and fall, and your addition to the molten pool completes the shape of an immense hammer. The metal cools as quickly as it heated. The handle is gripped now by two great leathery hands, and the hammer is cocked back over a shoulder as broad and mottled as a hilltop. The wielder whirls around and heaves the hammer, and you are flying upward for what seems like ages into the airless blackness above. As you spin, you catch glimpses of a rock large enough to be a moon. It is close, far too close to the world. I just realized, did I make this? Oh god. This stream has been private the whole time. Wait. Has it been public or private? Oh, it looks like it has been public. Sorry. Sorry, things looked weird for a second on my stream. Okay, I'm good. The force of the impact shatters hammer and stone alike. The rock is redirected outward, but a section of the front face is cleaved off and begins to fall, splintering all apart at the cracks. In 100,000 fragments blossoming outward in all directions, debris showers the atmosphere, trailing smoke and fire. Below, land and sea are far off, but gradually rising up. The largest of the fragments, wide as a city, barrels down in a fiery cocoon. Its size reduces as the edge is immolate, but it won't burn up in time. It lands silently in the distant ocean, sending a column of water skyward and radiating ripples that spread like wrinkles in fabric. Then the sound comes tearing up through the sky. It sounds like thunder. Features are becoming clearer by the moment as you streak toward the earth. You are launched in an enormous boulder, falling among other smaller fragments that heat and burst around you on all sides. Beneath you, snow-capped mountains rise up, dotted here and there by cities of stone and Audra. The impact will be the destruction of all of them. The shadow of your rock fragments is visible now, getting larger by the second. You are moments away from striking the ground when a massive shape throws itself into your path. The last thing you hear sounds like another rumbling impact, but that isn't what it is. It's a chuckle, relieved, breathless. You hear two words. Made it. Everything goes dark. You open your eyes. The metal hammer fragment has come free, and you now hold it in your hands. It is warm to the touch. The air around you is suddenly turbulent, spiteful. A cold, damp wind whips your face. Salt crystals collect in your nostrils and the creases of your eyes. The floor below you becomes blue-gray and glassy, churning and rolling. And when you fall, you crash through the water. Violent waves hurl and spin you. Something slithers around your ankle, seizes you with incredible strength, drags you down into silty depths.
This is very good.
Of course you'd think that. When the pulling stops, you are hovering at the center of an endless blue abyss. You can see neither surface nor floor. You seem to be facing downward. There is no way to be sure. A voice sounds from everywhere at once, and the immense pressure wave of each utterance sends you reeling.
Deceitful wretch! Grave robber! You who dig for that which you did not bury, speak! Explain yourself and be judged.
I seek a means of defeating an army that threatens my lands.
You seek what is mine, what was rightfully lost.
The outburst propels you, sending you end over end.
Your actions speak for themselves. The battery opened, the forge ignited. You set free souls that hid from me, that stole from me and evaded my judgment. The dwarves sealed their own fate. The forge was meant to be forgotten. And now, here you are again, denying peace to the buried.
The turbulence around you calms. Silt settles like a slow exhalation. and the vast dark seascape beyond the murk fades in. Rays of light trickle down from far above onto green gold columns of kelp that rise from the depths and sway back and forth in the current. Fish and mollusks patrol them in groups of hundreds and thousands, the nearest pass you with watchful eyes. What do you mean the forge is meant to be forgotten?
It was never meant for mortal use. Such power, such truths lie within it. It can bring only ruin. When the Pargrunen came to the White March, they were peaceful. They shared common beliefs and purpose. Their visions for the Forge tore them apart. You have seen this for yourself.
And then you unleashed the eyeless on them.
They would have destroyed themselves in the end.
How convenient that we'll never know.
You need only look to the history of your own civilization for assurance. How many wars, how many fallen empires might have been averted if only their leaders could forget the objects of their ambition. I mourned the loss of the Pargrunen. Misfortune brought them here. They did not deserve to end so soon.
The army that destroyed the dwarves, the eyeless, are they yours? Actually, wait, let's not answer that. Let's not ask that yet. What are the bones of one god doing sealed in the temple of another?
Do not play coy with a god, Watcher. I know you have seen his death. I feel it whenever a forgotten thing is taken from me. Abidin did not deserve to die here. This place, it was the least I could do to give his remains some privacy.
The least you could do?
The least I could do for ending his life.
Light drains from your surroundings. The kelp forest becomes a copse of black tendrils, stark and twisted as regret.
I called the moon down to me. Ioni brother. It was against his wishes. He would not listen to reason. Would not listen to me.
So that story I felt, that was the death of Abaddon?
In his madness, he splintered the moon. But it was not enough. The greatest of the fragments still fell toward that which he would protect. In the end, he took position where it would fall, and absorbed the impact himself.
But why the temple? Wait, I thought Balafa and Kalda were the moons.
Ioni brother is their smaller sibling, tiny next to them.
Small enough that the world would survive its impact. But why the temple? Why the secrecy?
That time has been forgotten now. And so his death belongs to me. Everything he was before the impact.
But you slew another god. Surely the other gods know this. Surely Abaddon must know. Currents surged through the kelp bed, pushing each plant sideways like saplings in a hurricane, and propelling you backward amidst a torrent of wayward fish.
No! He cannot know! He must never know! Understand, he was not always as he is now. His body was not all he left behind. He was devoted to progress and industry from the beginning. But so too was he devoted to preservation. In those times, he would let nothing go. Nothing could be forgotten. His will was iron long before his body.
What was it he was trying to preserve?
Time has finished much of what I started. I cannot tell you that, mortal, for fear of undoing all its costly work.
Preservation. So that was why he went so far to oppose you.
We agreed long ago, all of us, not to alter the course of Kith's civilization. Not directly. Not unless there were no other choice. But in this matter, there was no other choice. He understood that as well as anyone. It was for duty that he opposed it. I would have stopped it if I could, but by then it was too late.
You make it sound as if you were the sane one.
The other gods knew what had to be done, but they lacked the will to go through with it. Even gods have their attachments. To erase all knowledge of such a grand thing required unthinkable devastation. The Eastern Reach, Deadfire, Mine was the only solution. When I called down Ione Brother, they remained silent. Even Abaddon. He knew it was for the best, but he tried to stop it all the same. Perhaps deep down I knew he would. I should have expected it. I could have stopped it. You may ask.
What does it matter if something is remembered or forgotten? It's in the past in either case.
Memories are the spirits of the past. You of all people should know their sway on the present, Watcher.
They are ours to bear whether we care to or not.
Mortals measure the worth of their lives in memory. Who will remember me? How long until I am forgotten? Memory governs every thought, informs every choice. It can fuel passion, understanding, love, or it can create obsession, madness. You have seen it plague many souls in your travels. Consider the old Watcher who inherited unspeakable crimes from birth. Or the young woman who committed herself to Brackenbury for love of things she remembered she had. Or the fisherman whose life became a sentence the day he killed his sister. Or the Glonfathen boy for whom an old medallion was worth more than all the fruits of his labors. They could be free from their burdens, if only they could forget.
Their problems go deeper than memory. Simply forgetting does not make them go away.
For some, perhaps. But for many, the memory is all that remains of it. It has been many years since the Takan people were assimilated. Why then should your Nalpazka warriors still hope to free them?
There is no longer hope of freeing the Takan. The failure is part of Zawa now.
This memory is your tether, Nalpazka. How free your mind would be without it.
Zawa has suffered at the hands of his memories, and it has made him strong. Zawa smiles faintly and nods back, seeming to think on your words.
Even when problems have run their course, memory can be the stone that sinks you into the abyss.
Be that as it may, I must reject your moral paradigm because it engenders an incomplete conception of the good. It fails to consider the importance of testing the soul.
Indeed? And what has led you to conclude you know better than a god, mortal?
Your supposition that peace of mind is tantamount to the overall good is a flawed premise. Empirically, we know that struggle and inner turmoil strengthen the soul as often as they strangle it. Zawa nods appreciatively.
My master could not have said it better.
That hardly sounds like an improvement on inner peace. Is that the extent of your argument?
No, actually. I submit to you that life is a framework to test the soul, and that an untested soul withers from disuse. Consequently, it is better to test the soul in order that it should thrive. If it breaks, it is no worse off than if it were not tested at all.
There may be hope for you yet, Watcher.
I don't know if I want your approval.
Your reasoning is interesting, mortal. Perhaps there is something to it. But it is not my will to simply do good. Those broken souls that fail your test, those are the ones I love most. For no other god will have them. What small mercies they ask of me, I will always grant. Was there something else, mortal?
Why did you pull down Ione Brother?
The great conundrum of a god is how close to become with your subjects. Too far and they lose hope. Too close and your own judgment fails. Civilizations are meant to ebb and flow. Allow them to persist for too long in power or knowledge, and you invite catastrophe. There was a time when we let our sympathies get the better of us. When memories were allowed to persist that should have been washed away. The other gods could not be moved to act. I did what had to be done without them.
You're talking about the Ingwithans.
I speak of what is forgotten. I failed that day, but my purpose was achieved in the end.
Actually, Now that I think of it, yeah, it actually was, because a structure's made of stone and Antra, that would have been the Ingwithan ruins. Well, what we know as the Ingwithan ruins now.
I will not dredge up the memory to satisfy idle curiosity.
The army that destroyed the dwarves, the ails, are they yours?
What the world casts aside, I take into my care. A thing may be forgotten, but it is never alone as long as I am here. They were lost children, abandoned, fixed on a purpose that no longer had meaning. I took them in, gave them new purpose. I did not create them, but yes, they are mine.
They are Rabadon's. I saw them forged.
They were his once. I won't deny it. He created them as assistants to carry out his work on Aeora. But he has long been the overseer of progress in the world. Leaving things behind has always been his way.
A sec. Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm getting confused by things. Let me just... Okay, there we go. Now there won't be any ambiguity in that.
I allow him to leave his past in my care, so that it does not hold him back.
You and Abaddon have a unique connection, then.
I suppose we do. But then, the gods have always been able to accomplish far greater things when working together.
Nearby, you see a shark pass through a school of fish. The fish scatter, evading the predator. I had something else to discuss about the Islas.
Speak your mind.
What new purpose did you give them?
Some things that are forgotten must never be remembered. Not merely for the benefit of those who forgot, but for the entire world. There can be no second thoughts, no sympathy or stays of execution. The Eyeless were born to fulfill this task, though even their creator did not know it. They are single-minded and relentless.
You mean they kill those who remember what you want forgotten?
They do not flinch when called upon to do what is necessary. Kith owe them a great debt for the troubles they have hidden away.
You haven't given me the whole truth about the Eyeless, have you?
Careful what you accuse a god of, mortal.
The water around you is suddenly icy. You can feel it sap the heat from your veins. Abaddon didn't abandon those creatures. You made him forget them. Otherwise he might remember how he died.
And what if I did, mortal? It does him no harm to forget. On the contrary, it lifts a burden. If Abaddon remembered, it would threaten the harmony between the gods. It was not so long ago that conflict between us led to disaster in your world, and the death of one of our number. Memory is but an image we create to make sense of the present. It carries no truth or meaning but what we ascribe. A slight alteration to it is a small price to pay for peace.
It's wrong to deceive him. I expected better from a god.
Memory deceives. It distorts. It reimagines. This is no different. The peace between the gods is already fragile. It will not withstand another shock. You may ask.
You say on one hand you had to call down Ione Brother, yet on the other that you would have stopped it for Abaddon.
The death of a god is a calamity. You are living in the aftermath of one such death. Surely you can understand.
You have said that sympathy can't get in the way. What about yours for Abaddon?
He deserved better. Of all the other gods, he was the only one who acted, who held to his convictions.
The goddess of relentlessness must have appreciated such a quality.
Yes. I admired him for that.
But it's more than that. You loved him. The pull and push of the current became long and heavy, like a sigh.
Whatever he was to me, it was not meant to last. Always our duty is to Aeora first.
Oh, that's what's going on with my microphone. It's because you got the space heater on. Let me shut that off. I can go an hour without it on anyway. There's enough latent heat in here, and I've got a computer that's acting as a space heater as well.
I knew he opposed what I intended. That he would wish to preserve what I meant to destroy. I knew it would cause a rift that might never be mended. But I never imagined he'd go so far. I never imagined it would mean I would never know him, as I once did.
If he doesn't remember dying, why not begin again with him?
Because it might cause him to remember. No, mortal. Better that we should exist as we are now.
That's a tragic situation if your reading is correct.
What happened once must never happen again. Bad enough that I am cursed to remember it.
That would explain your aim then. If this is something that you have to live with no matter what, no wonder why you see that in pretty much every other mortal.
You may ask.
I need you to call off the eyeless.
On the contrary, mortal, their work must continue. Far too much was uncovered while they lay dormant.
They draw attention to the very things you wish hidden. In my dreams I have seen them swarming over the Deerwood.
Those who know too much of the White Forge will be washed clean from Eora. And then the eyeless shall rest once more.
This isn't some lone tribe of dwarves. The Forge sees visitors from all over now. The eyeless will tear the Deerwood apart. It will never be forgotten. The sea life around you stirs back and forth, agitated, restless.
Even if it is as you say, there is nothing that can be done. The eyeless do not think for themselves. They have only the purpose that is given to them. They do not stop until the purpose is fulfilled. They will not change course now for me or anyone. I am sorry.
This was your doing. You must intervene.
The interventions of gods seldom work out in anyone's favor. Our touch is too heavy. The world crumbles beneath it. It is why we so often enlist the help of mortals. They execute our wishes with greater care.
That's actually a clever way to handle that sort of thing. Well played.
I have done far too much already.
Haoto said they could be called off.
Only if those they pursue are no longer a threat. The Raid Serens were stopped before they could take the White Forge. In your case, Watcher, you are well beyond that now. And if what you say is true, then the Deerwood is as well.
If you won't stop them, then I will.
Your determination is commendable. But the eyeless number in the thousands. You will need more than strength or luck.
The help of a god would be most welcome.
I will give you what aid I can. I bade the eyeless to remain hidden when at rest. They are gathered in the hollow of a great rock, splintered from Ione Brother. It lies in a flooded crater known as Kairon's Scar. Know, too, that they were built to answer the call of their master's hammer. When they hear it strike, they come to its aid. If you were to take that piece of his hammer from here and reshape it in Abaddon's forge into a likeness of the original, you might be able to call them to you. But destroying them would be another matter. I know of one way, but only from the center of the Lion's Den. Only with their master's hammer in your service. If you can do all this, if you can reshape what remains of Abaddon's hammer and bring it inside their lair, I can instruct you there on what you would need to do.
I kind of want to pry for more information, but I get the feeling that I don't really have much of a choice. Although, you know what, let's see what happens. It would be easier if you told me now.
Nothing I say will make sense until you see it for yourself, mortal. We share a common purpose now. I will see you through it when the time comes.
I will remake the hammer in the White Forge and stop the eyeless.
If you do not, be assured, they will come for you as they did for the Pargrunen.
An uneasy turbulence disturbs the calm like an unwelcome thought.
Careful as you approach the lake. When I claimed the eyeless, I made sure they would not be discovered while they slept. Many of my most devoted followers stand watch there. They will not allow you near. And there is something far worse. Something more fearsome and dangerous than any eyeless. Let us hope you do not attract its attention.
What is it? In place of an answer, a sudden surge in the current from beneath sends you hurtling upward. The surface above you approaches fast, shifting and glimmering like quicksilver. You emerge soaking wet on the stone floor of the reliquary. gasping for breath as if you've been holding it for hours. Well, that's not very helpful. So that's been seen too. So, reforge Abaddon's hammer. I'm assuming that anywhere I go, major adventure added. Alright, we'll send someone that I don't expect to use. Ravias, go deal with it. Well, that's made things interesting. Alright, first things first, let's level up. Now we'll hold on to the points. Actually, Moonwell turned out to be pretty useful, so well, wait, is that a level 8?
Yeah?
Level 8's Avenging Storm. Ooh, any target that strikes in melee or strikes them in melee is attacked by a bolt of lightning. Ready. Let's see. Foe character hitting caster, foe characters hit by caster. Ooh, wait a minute. Does that mean that I can effectively cast this in conjunction with Relentless Storm? Oh, that sounds evil. What's Fire Stag? So it's alright, so it's a summon. And then Tornado. That feels like it's a dangerous weapon to try and bandy about. Let's not drag that out just yet. Alright, so what have I got you working on? That's a long time. Long time for that healing to apply. I don't know if that necessarily makes sense. Ooh. Make you harder to kill. Nice. Oh. After being knocked out, the fighter stands back with a portion of his or her endurance healed. Yes! I don't even need to look at the others to just know yes. Alright, let's see where these take us. Should have known that dealing with that guy wouldn't be the end. Hopefully the party arrangement that I have will still work. I'd really rather not go back through the effort that I put in trying to make this one work. As expected. Spam me back out here. Now that I am back out here, we can head to the forge. Hopefully deal with whatever nonsense awaits. Let's head to the foundry. So, in that case, wait a minute. If that's true and Abaddon was killed at one point, then theoretically, shouldn't Aethys technically still be alive then? Incredible heat ripples upward from the white forge and laps against your exposed skin. The fragment of Abaddon's hammer grows warm in your hands, as if in recognition. It is but a fraction of the size of the original, but there is metal enough to create a hammer fit for a person of your size to wield. In this forge, the fragment can be shaped anew. You call to mind every memory you have witnessed of the Great Hammer. Images coalesce and take shape in your mind's eye. You know every curve, every engraving. Even as a shapeless lump of metal, you can see the fragment for what it is meant to become. The fragment is slow to heat even in the white forge, and quick to cool as you work it against the anvil. Sweat drizzles down your body. and puddles at your feet. I just realized the audio's probably too loud. Oh man, there's a lot of things I'm messing up with this stream tonight. Sweat drizzles down your body and puddles at your feet. Your arms grow sore with each swing of your forge hammer until you can barely lift it. Minutes turn to hours. As Abaddon's hammer begins to take shape, the ring of your own hammer against it takes on a familiar charm, one that you have heard in your dreams. With each strike, an image flashes in your mind. It is hazy at first, but it gains detail as the hammer begins to resemble the original. Over time, the image becomes a frozen landscape, centered around a crater lake. Eyelists patrol its frozen surface in droves, and this can only be the place Andra described, Kairin's Scar. The eyelists pause here and there when you strike and look up, as though hearing the echo on the wind. In the distance, as more details appear, you can see other landmarks, Stalwart, Durgan's Battery, and you understand where the lake lies in the White March, where you must take this hammer. Finally, with the careful etching of the last detail with your chisel, the hammer is completed. No sooner did you make the final mark than you feel a pulse, radiant energy pulsing from within it like a mechanical heartbeat. There is an indescribable beauty to the shape and the weighting and the design. It feels as if this is the realization of the metal's purpose. You take up the hammer and its power rushes over you in waves, and it shakes your body so hard you nearly drop to your knees. The tremor passes, but the surge of power remains. The hair on your arms stand on end. In your hands is a faithful recreation of a divine instrument.
So much power is concentrated in what you now hold. Incredible.
Huh? What are ogres doing here?
I've heard enough.
The sounds of an argument reach you from the stairs. Darian marches into the room, arms crossed, while Rengra bounds along behind him.
This threatens all of us now.
Matron Berrigan lumbers after Darian and Wengra, flanked by two stout ogres.
She's right. We've got to fight together.
You also recognize Adarik following them. His shoulders are rigid and his arms are clasped in front of him. Wengra sees you and points enthusiastically.
See, Darian? He'll tell ya. We can stop him!
Tensions crackle in the air. Darian whirls and cuts Wengra off with a chopping motion.
If he's seen them, he knows better.
What's going on here?
Something killed a whole crew of hunters out in the wood. Tore them apart like dolls, insects.
Despite his steady posture, his eyes flit and flicker like flies, and his upper lip shines with sweat.
Something like the creatures that attacked my fort, perhaps?
Berrigan mutters something to her escort, and they snort in agitation.
I told ya! All we gotta do is get him in range of these cannons, and then we blast him!
She brings her hands together in a loud clap.
We don't even know what they are!
He shuts his eyes and breathes loudly through his nose. I do. Everyone turns to look at you. How do I want to play this? They're known as the Eyeless.
The destruction my dreams warned me of.
Berrigan's gaze is distant with horror. Suddenly she rounds on Wengra and Darian.
And your greed and recklessness have brought them on us all!
She rolls her shoulders back and bares her teeth at the two villagers. Rage hangs around her like a musk. Darian and Wengra each take a step back and square off against the ogres.
You burning our village didn't help matters none.
Wengra's feral grimace exposes needle-sharp teeth.
It wasn't my clan that attacked you.
No difference. One ogre stinks as bad as the next.
Enough! You're all idiots, arguing over ancient history at a time like this. Darian and Wengra grumble, shifting on their feet and glaring sullenly. After a pause, Berrigan looks back at you.
I came to offer my clan's help.
The others gawk at her.
The White March has been our home for centuries. We'll defend it alongside you.
Your aid would be welcome. She presents an ancient banded horn in both of her calloused hands, holding it out to you.
Sound it anywhere in the White March, and 3 of my best warriors will be at your side. Your battles become ours.
Alrighty then. So,
What's your plan for dealing with them exactly?
the eyeless are hidden at Kayrin's Scar. I'll face them there. Wengra and Darien gape at each other in disbelief.
That lake's notorious. Folk never come back from that.
She breaks off, her eyes suddenly wide.
Oh.
You'll need all the help you can get. I have fewer men to offer than I would like, but the Iron Flail stands ready. Our siege weapons are at your disposal.
The same ones you threw at the battery's walls?
These eyeless will come for us all if they aren't stopped here and now.
Forget it. You're not bringing your army into our backyard.
He looks to you and nods.
Tell him.
Adarik's right. We need to work together. It's no time to worry about what's past, Darien.
Guess you're right. Won't be anything left of Stalwart if we don't stop these monsters anyway.
He looks down at the spot his heel is ground into the grit. We'll assemble at Kayrin's Scar and await your orders. Be ready, my friend. It will be a great battle. Adarik bows slightly and steps away. Did I start playing The Witcher? What's this music? Should have mentioned it earlier. An awkward silence follows. Wengra clears her throat noisily.
You know, those heavy cannons you fixed might come in handy.
She grins, a mischievous twinkle in her eyes. Darien starts to groan and she holds up both hands.
Hear me out. Kayrin's Scar should be just in range for those guns. You just point out your target and I'll do the rest.
If those things are on the move, we don't have much time. If you're really gonna stop them, take this. It's the best of the ore we've pulled from Stalwart's mines.
He gives you a solemn nod.
It's not much, but it's good enough to make the old Pargrunen smiths proud. I'm sorry about what I said before. Just don't take it out on the rest of the village.
He looks away. Alrighty then. Here goes nothing. So, I've been granted these things to use. I'm assuming they're quick items? Yes.
I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
What was this again? Ah. I never did end up using that, did I? Oh man. This is gonna be an interesting... It's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be very interesting to watch play out. Very interesting indeed.
Hey there.
I'm ready.
Alright. Oh, what? They're letting me go directly to Kayrin's Scar? Oh boy. You know what? I'm gonna make a proper save before jumping into this, because I get the feeling it's gonna be hell in a handbasket. Here we go. Here we go. And there they are. The eyeless.
They stir below. Terrible, tireless servants.
Lucky us. Let's go say hello. Let's go say hello. Ah, great Lagertha.
Sure.
And I'm paralyzed. Durance, get me out of this. Alright.
Ah, thank
Real quick. There we are. Burning Pitch, Trebuchet, and Heavy Cannon Blast.
more than raw!
There we go. Gotta love the Dominate spell. Dominate solves everything. Alright, let's see what this... Dude, the spirit has to say for itself. Ah, great, more Lagertha. Let's deal with this one first.
More than...
At least it was just a couple of Lagertha ciphers. Easy enough to deal with compared to what we've had to worry about previously.
Ah.
Alrighty. Whoever this was has been long dead. What remains of the flesh is blackened and frozen solid. This crater worries you and your three companions. It feels wrong, tainted, but the lure of riches is stronger. That giant rock in the center of the lake might contain gold, gems, more. It took a week of back-breaking labor, but the boat is finished. It may not be entirely watertight, but it'll be enough to get you across the lake and back. You set off from shore, the icy wind filling the sail. Saturn grins at you. He expressed the most doubt that the boat would float. A moment later, he's gone, barely managing a scream as a gigantic tentacle yanks him from the boat and under the water. More tentacles emerge from the water. The air is filled with the sound of cracking and splintering wood as the boat gets pulled apart. You dive into the water without a second thought and begin swimming madly for shore, hoping your friends are doing the same. Your heavy furs weigh you down, but by some miracle you make it to land. You hear a burbling sound and look up to see one of the fish people, a Lagertha, standing over you, its spear raised. You rise to your knees, your hands raised, showing that you have no weapons, that you pose no threat. The Lagertha makes the sound again. Wait, you start to say, but the creature drives its spear deep into your chest before you can say anything else. Mercifully, the agony is brief before the world fades. I expected it to be more related to the eyeless, but there we are. Let's get a good sense of what we're up against. Random bears?
More than raw!
Not even worth. Not even worth. Not even worth activating party AI on account of.
Ah.
the ice flows. This looks like it'll be our primary way to get up, or at least it could be. Let's find out. A span of ice flows separate two large sheets. The flows continuously roil the water and bump into each other with rhythmic cracks. Despite their unstable positions, the flows are packed tightly enough that it's possible you could leap across the span. Still, anyone short on grace and balance stands a good chance of sliding off the ice and into the frigid water. Let's look around elsewhere first. Although Aloth isn't here, so maybe we won't necessarily have a problem, because usually if anyone runs into problems, it's Aloth. So maybe it won't matter as much, but we'll see. We shall see. Andrites. Get up! I can do that too! Ah, hell. He went straight for our good. Went straight for him. Disengage and deal with him. Durance is taking a lot of hits. We've got these chanters under control for now, but that won't last forever. See what this does. Knock him away. Crap, it didn't work. Nice. Oh great, Zawa just attracted unwanted attention. Luckily, it seems that Zawa's doing his job. All we have to do is just make sure we do ours.
I need something strong.
There we go. That one's down. Now, get Durance back up. The rest of us focus on these creeps. Oh, nice. That did a lot.
Sam!
Gotta love dominates. Now get him. Gives you just enough leeway with which to maul them.
I'm ready.
War Dog. That's new.
Ah, that worth.
Nice. Probably more that we didn't end up taunting. Well, baiting. Pulling? Whatever the term you want to use. There's probably more. We'll make sure that we're thorough. With any luck, there won't be too many. Oh hey, that gets Zawa a level. Nice. Sure, attack speed for a while. Extra per damage. Two per rest. Oh, it's a passive. summon duplicate. It requires a fair number of wounds, but actually that's what the leader of the Andrites did, isn't it? Touch. That could be interesting. I feel like this will probably be the most useful, given that fights are tending to drag on a bit.
I'm ready.
Luckily, that didn't matter. I'm gonna regret not having the Devil of Karak or Aloth in this, am I? But you know what? I haven't had occasion to bring Palagina or the Grieving Mother out in a while, so we're just gonna live with this. Oh, enemies. Oh, this is starting to hurt. Oh geez, this is really starting to hurt now. Keep yourself alive. Ah, crap. That's not good. Knock him away. Oh geez, I'm about to die. Zawa's not far behind at this rate. Crap, he's down again. Alright, let's hope the duplicates can do something. They've got a fair amount of health, so maybe they can. Oh, you're gonna approach? Stab him. Oh crap, they're both down. Now the real question remains, can Adair kill these two on his own?
Leave it!
Nope. Okay, I'm gonna have to work for that one. Alright, note to self. Do not just go straight... Well, if you're gonna take on the Stelgar, yeah, I need someone to deal with the ranged people. Otherwise, this is gonna be really messy. And I need to do a better job of keeping myself alive. Although the problem is I don't have a lot of spells right now, so it may be advisable to do a rest. Let me check real quick to see how often I'm allowed to invoke the cannons and whatnot.
I'm ready.
Yeah?
2 per rest.
Good.
So actually, there's no reason why I couldn't just bring them out now. I do not like the amount of damage I'm taking through all this. Keep yourself alive. Or not. Durance, get her back up, now. Adair, stop standing on that. It's gonna kill you.
Hey there.
Another one down.
Hey there.
Wait, how does Master Diametto get all his health back so quickly? Okay, we need to rest before that fight, I think. And we need to be better about not sitting in a wall of fire, or whatever the hell that wall is. Because I think that just shredded Pallegina and Adair far more quickly than it should have. So what we're going to do is we're going to be more careful about that.
Ah.
Hey. Hey there. Hey. Mm-hmm.
That's it. No, that came up a little slower than I expected. Still stunned out, so that's the best part. Alright, that monk needs to die. Yesterday. Whatever you need to do to take him out, do it. Also, stop standing in that. You're gonna get yourself killed. Oh, you're paralyzed. Great. And so is Durance. That's even better. Oh, Durance is even down now. Well, shit. This could end up going really badly for us. Zawa, get rid of that cipher. Stop letting him shoot at us. Oh, he's stunned now. Are they gonna be that close range too? Stop stunning me! Okay, if we can't kill you that quickly, we'll have Adair do it for us.
Leave it to me.
On the plus side, the archer's dead. Adair, get in there. Kill him quickly.
You're not getting through me.
I'm ready.
Oh my gosh, that technically ended combat, which meant we could all re-enter. Actually, wait, this could legitimately kill turrets.
I'm ready.
I don't know how that works, but you know what? I'm not gonna complain. We got him. I don't know if the game bugged out because he technically disappeared for a little bit or what happened there, but you know what? They dead.
I can do that.
No, you can't.
I understand.
Someone carved a swirling crescent into the bench. Cold water drips from the roof of this yurt and puddles in the hearth. Fish bones lie among the coals. Seer reeks of stale sweat. There's only one bedroll inside. This yurt is empty but for a few heavy bedrolls. So it looks like the Andrites have been camping out around here then. At least that's the impression I'm getting right now. Another way in. Summon some distractions. Re-equip that just in case you get it and someone goes in melee range. Where's a grieving mother? You stand back and equip this. Don't stand on that.
I'll teach.
There we go. A Lagafot broodmother that doesn't give us hell in a handbasket? What is this? Actually gonna tell me that pigs fly.
Good.
That takes us back to the... Let's continue encircling the outside just to be sure that there's no other problems to worry about.
Not a sound.
I don't like the sound of that. That's probably the eyeless. Question is, how much are we willing to risk fighting them? We're gonna have to fight the eyeless.
Mm-hmm.
Got the horn that we can use per rest. Within the at least within the borders of the... Hello! Alright, these eyeless gave us hell last time. Let's make sure our flank is seen to first. Oh crap, oh great, weird tentacles. That's okay. I think we sound the hammer for the... I think we sound the horn for this one. Set this up. Did it actually sound? No, it did not. Oh god, Adair's taken that many hits already. God, these guys hit like hell. And they're immune to that kind of damage. So what are they immune to? Damage reduction. So they're immune to fire and shock. They have high damage reduction to slashing. Ow! That didn't seem to do anything either. Assuming I can't dominate? Yeah. Let's see what this does. Well, somehow we're doing damage to one of them. Couldn't tell you the first thing about how we're doing damage to one of them, but we are. Another eyeless down. That's a lot of tentacles. What are these things immune to? Alright, so they've got some minor fire damage reduction, but for the most part, they can be shredded. Ah, great. He's down. don't think your attacks will be doing that much, so... And then if they are, I'd be very surprised at that. There we go.
I'll teach you a...
Is anything even happening to the Stone Piercer? Well, at least Zawa's doing work.
An army of thieves awaits. Their weaknesses.
Keep it moving, keep it moving.
My mind feels sharp.
Down they go. Eventually. Down they go.
Another of Andra's mindless servants. I'll see her paid for this.
Planks have been peeled from the bow of this old fishing boat. Oh man, that cost us a lot in order to try and destroy all those.
Laying low.
Let's see if we can take on another group. Probably not, but we'll find out. Real darn quick. Whoa, how am I already that low health? Holy crap, how am I already on the ground? Alright, I need to disengage and fire a cannon, fire a siege engine weapon at him.
Hey there.
Are my attacks actually doing? Yes, they are. Yes, they are doing plenty. Please keep me alive. Well, I can't get back up. Okay, so the Grieving Mother is actually doing something. So Durance and the Grieving Mother are actually hurting. They're immune to fire. That's fine. Zawa's down? Alright, that eyeless hammer is almost down. Fire this out. Alright, this should keep him alive still. Hopefully.
I shall end.
Alright, so the fire one isn't gonna do us any good, but the rest should be fine. And the ice one got dismissed. Throw this out again. Hopefully it'll help before Adair goes down. Hopefully. Alright, that applies crush. Okay, crush damage will work. Didn't do much. 4. Pathetic.
Let's burn this away.
Wait, are you trying to heal yourself? Oh, that's annoying.
Things have really got it in for us.
Yeah, just a bit. Just a bit. Alright.
Ah.
There's an eyeless. There's something important over there? Well, let's head inside. See what we can do. We don't have our con bonus from resting at Cad Nua, so we'll have to make do with what we've got. Hopefully the defense reduction will be enough. Well, damage reduction, I should say.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
Here we go.
Hey there.
No help
I'm
from
ready.
the cannons this time. This looks important. Or just deadly. Columns of water rise up from the pool in front of you, shifting and writhing, whipping air around them in a vortex. This can only be Andra's hair, appearing before you at a fraction of the size typically reported by Marines unfortunate enough to encounter them on the high seas.
You have done well to have come so far. I confess I was not certain you would make it, but I do not wish to give false hope. The greater challenge remains in front of you.
I didn't expect it to be easy.
Running through the core of this rock is a large growth of crystal. You will know it when you see it. A blow to the crystal would reverberate through the walls of this place. Strike it enough and the entire structure would crumble. The eyeless would be buried. Of course, it would take a person years to cause enough damage.
But not with the help of the eyeless.
Then you know what must be done. Strike the crystal with Obidon's hammer. The eyeless will wake and come to its call. Join in striking the crystal. They will cluster together and bury themselves. I have realized it is best that they should be ended, for within each of them is a small piece of Obidon himself. Upon their deaths, those fragments and the memories they contain will be safely dispersed. I had not considered the dangers of allowing them to persist, until a watcher appeared at my abbey.
Hold on. You want me to wake up more of them?
They will not attack as long as they are fixated on the sound of Obidon's hammer. But that is where the problem lies. A single strike upon the crystal will not be enough. The eyeless respond only as long as the hammer rings. You will need to remain until their work is complete, wielding the hammer until the walls come crumbling down.
You mean for me to die here?
Your sacrifice will be mourned, but your fate is already sealed. The eyeless cannot be reasoned with or fled from. One day not far from now, they would kill you and level the Deerwood. You have seen what they will do. This is the way you can stop them.
This is the way.
And the truth is that you are marked by the eyeless for a reason. It would be better for all if the things you have seen were forgotten.
Crushing's a bad way to go. Maybe we should just hang ourselves.
You say that, but good lord.
A great sacrifice for a greater good.
The Wannery Columns all drop all at once back into the pool, sending up a small splash. The pool settles, and looking down into it, you see only the faces of you and your companions, alone and condemned. Just one?
I am the warriors.
Well, that's a good way to start. Yeah, it's already let's go ahead and burn a level 7. Down you go.
I'm ready.
Another one down.
Slowly now.
More of them. This is gonna be a handbasket.
The archers vote.
I can't use that very often. You're immune to fire, so what do I have that can hurt you? Well, I can cast this to keep us alive for a little longer. Oh geez, keep him alive, keep him alive!
What?
Alright, this one's almost down. It's down. Take out the other.
More than wrong!
Shouldn't have let me finish casting that. Can this change direction? I don't think that'll work very well. Let's try this one.
Shed no blood.
Get in there. Ooh, that petrified you. Okay, enough trying to cast those. That clearly doesn't work.
I'll teach you a lesson.
Just equip that again. Well, you might be immune to the damage, but you're not immune to stun. Down you go. And stay down.
I understand.
Phew.
And what does the flame reveal?
Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. Judging by the claw marks and scales around the edges of this pool, you believe it is regularly used by Logothoth. You see something shimmering in the depths of the frigid, murky waters. Let's go for it. Okay, we need someone with high con. Gotta get all the loot, right? We got someone with high con. I think a dare should work quite nicely given the buffs that I put onto him. Wow, already that late. No, we're gonna see this through. We're gonna see this through. So who has the best con? Zawa. Alright, Zawa, you're going in.
Is ready.
That's alright. It'll be a nice change of pace from all the other nonsense we've been dealing with. Oh geez. A storm piercer spotted us. Heal yourself. Oh geez, when did I... Oh god. That's really not good. If I don't deal with these guys soon, we'll be in serious trouble. Get me back on my feet. Now. Actually, the fire one won't... Actually, the fire one of those won't be any use there. Send him out to the Logothoth Cipher.
Yeah.
I wish you no harm.
Man, this fire duplicate is useful. Very useful.
I'll teach you a lesson.
How we doing over here? Let's see what this does. It misses. That's what it does. It misses. There's no point getting me back up. I'd just be dropped immediately. Alagina, heal yourself.
I'm ready.
I wish you no harm.
Unfortunately, he doesn't feel the same way about us. Man, your attack speed is fast, Zawa. You may not hit very much. You may not hit very hard, but good lord, you hit a lot. Actually, no, that probably won't hurt him. Actually, just focus on keeping him alive. Or it doesn't matter. Phew. Okay, despite triggering
I'm ready.
unfriendlies, still managed to see it through.
I understand.
Alright, another moment to rest. Although at the rate we're going, we're gonna have to double back to Stalwart. I hope whatever Zawa found was worth. Ooh. Wild Sprint, what's that do? Extra movement speed. And defense when disengaging. Yeah, it could have a use.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Good anyway. We're here. There it is.
Our path has brought us here at last. A final act of sacrifice awaits.
I'm gonna save real quick before I try this. Proper save. A ridge overlooks a broad chamber, half flooded with lake water. You could crawl down this way, but it looks too steep and slick to climb back up. What the hell is that? A kraken? A freaking kraken? That's what we have to kill. That's our final boss. Well, shit, I think we're dead. Alright, we'll send the slimes directly after him. We'll use the stun method for any who get close to us. Oh jeez, how's the grieving mother already taken this much damage? So where'd the music go? This is unnerving. There it is. That's why Grieving Mother's getting smacked at by this... Well, not nonsense that's throwing stuff at us. One of the tentacles is almost down. Alright, that's one down. I'll kill this one. Grieving Mother, disengage. It would seem that it served its purpose. Oh wow, I've got a really good movement speed now that I look at that. Actually, no, I don't think that'll do much use. Actually, let's try this Watcher ability out. Shred this thing's defense. We actually defeated a Kraken?
I'm ready.
Okay, that was too easy. That was way too easy. That was way too easy. Oh, did the game just freeze? Still hearing audio. Although, to be fair, the game's been acting weirdly all night. Unity engine, am I right? An enormous crystal juts from the wall like a spearhead protruding from a wound. An army of reflections stares back at you from the crystal's perfect facets. It echoes the sound of your footsteps in soft, ringing hums.
In your company, my soul no longer clings to this existence. Allow me to return the favor. Allow me to stay behind.
Someone will have to take on Abaddon's hammer and strike the crystal. And aren't you warned that whoever does so will be buried in this place with the eyeless? Who do you choose? Is there another way?
The gods really have it in for you. I wish they knew you like I did.
Freedom. Your body will suffer for it, but your soul will flourish. Always, I will remember your example.
Your sacrifice will save many lives.
Straight into the fire, then. Your chances aren't favorable, but at least you've learned to embrace the test. I told you I'd be good for you, Watcher.
You heft the hammer and swing at the crystal. A perfect clear tone rings through the air and resonates through your teeth. Seconds later, ripples shiver through the water. Something big is coming. You give the others a final nod. The rest of the party scrambles out of the flooded cave and flees through the tunnels. You continue hammering at the crystal, each strike magnifying the last. The echoes build into physical tremors. Meanwhile, a heavier rhythm pulses through the cave. Footsteps. Dozens of them. The others round a corner only to see a line of eyeless advancing. The creatures stagger to the rhythm of the hammer thuds, yet they crane their necks toward the party, ratcheting back their piston arms. A pocket of eyeless near the middle of the procession roars and turns onto the neighbors. Chaos ripples down the line as the eyeless turn toward the commotion. The party sprints past the distracted monsters. Fortunately, the creatures are too focused on the hammering to give chase. They continue toward the cavern. You maintain a steady tempo on the crystal. Eyeless gather in the cavern while where they batter the walls in time with the hammer's rhythmic blows. The ground shakes. Falling rocks and shattering crystals splash to the ground. The party flees through dark, rumbling corridors. More spellbound eyeless shamble along, but they're too entranced by the swelling cadence to take more than an idle swipe at the party. The tunnel narrows. Light filters through ahead. The exit must be around the next bend. But it's clogged with rubble. Meanwhile, the ground drops several feet at once, and the tunnels begin rolling on its axis. The distant sounds of rushing water echoes from the cavern. It must be a weak spot, but it will take a practiced eye to find it. Everyone attacks the rubble together, tearing at the boulders with desperate strength. A roar of shattering rocks rises from the depths and the moon drops several more feet. A few minutes of furious work finally clear the passage, but Durrance is wounded and exhausted from the exertion. Durrance takes ragged pain breaths and cradles one arm stiffly. The moon shudders again. The party escapes onto the ice just as another thunderous crash sounds from below. Eyeless continue pouring into the cavern from every visible tunnel and crevice. Your ears ring as the ever-growing cacophony of smashing rock and shattering crystal. Meanwhile, the water level is rising. A skull-splitting crack rends the air, and a surge of water knocks you from your feet. The entire cavern rotates, plunging you into a freezing soup of jagged metal, torn flesh, and stone. The others dash across the lake. Look, the ice squeals and cracks, rocking dangerously underfoot. The sinking moon groans. Long fissures race across the ice. The surface of the ice is riddled with cracks. Only someone who knows what to look for can find safe passage. Zanwa charts a careful path across the ice, skirting cracks and dodging thin patches. The rest of the party follows. At last, everyone reaches the safety of the shore. In the middle of the lake, only the tip of the moon is still visible above the ice. The survivors watch in silence as it sinks into the depths. The world seems to be falling in slow motion. You sink into the lake alongside the dark shapes of moon fragments and crushed eyelids. Your limbs ache and your lungs burn. Sparks flicker across your vision. Not sparks. Scales. Logothoth gather in front of you, and you notice something unusual in their iridescent eyes. A spark of uncommon intelligence. You hear a whisper in your mind. You freed us from our prison in Durgan's battery. Consider our debt repaid. The Logothoth, possessed by the spirits of Maroon and some of the other Pargrunen, swarm and rush you to the surface. At last you reach the shallows. You punch through a thin crust of ice and crawl ashore, trembling but alive. I had a feeling there'd be a way out if we can technically sacrifice ourselves, but you can never tell with a game like this. You can never tell with a game like this. Then again, this is an expansion, so they gotta keep the real stakes for the main story, right? Gotta keep the real stakes for that. You stand at the edge of the lake. The bobbing of the ice and the rippling of the water's surface slows until you're looking at a moment frozen in time. When the world begins moving once more, it moves in reverse. The surface of the water churns and roils like it's about to spew something up. And it does. The fragment of Vion Brother rises, unbroken. Ice reforms along the surface of the lake, spreading in long, freezing fingers. Eyelets file out of the moon fragment and onto the ice. They wind about the movement in an ever-winding spiral. They stop at the head of their line reaches you. They speak in a single voice that resonates with grinding metal and hissing steam.
We shatter and sink, discarded like worn tools. Why have you consigned us to oblivion?
You would have killed many innocent people.
We do not cherish violence, but we will fight to defend the legacies of this world.
The eyeless stand tall, ratcheting their arms back.
In one hand, a hammer. In the other, a mace. We protect the greatest works of civilization, lest it collapse beneath its own weight.
Then why did you storm Durgan's battery 200 years ago? Their protest is as sharp as squealing metal.
We would sooner sacrifice our own bodies than dislodge a single stone from such a place. Why do you torment us with baseless accusations?
Andra changed you from a preserver to a destroyer. The eyelets are still, but you hear their gears whir as their collective spirit ponders this.
Then we were betrayed.
Yes, you were transformed against your will.
And we were made to betray something we cherish.
You feel their bitter agony like a hammer strike. The legacy of the Ingwithans, you mean?
The bedrock of civilization.
Suddenly they attack the ice beneath them, slicing and shattering it with mighty swings from their iron arms. And where the ice breaks, ancient towers rise, blotting out the blue sky and white peaks. Andra wanted Ingwithan civilization forgotten.
Better for her tides to ebb and her seas to dry up than to cover a single stone the Ingwithans laid.
The ice shakes with the fury of the eyeless.
Each culture builds on the bones of the last. Yet many only look up at where they would go, never down at the foundations that bear them. Like a mason who builds a listing tower.
The remaining ice sheets crack and groan.
What peril do they inflict on their progeny? And what dishonor on their forebears?
You hear the strain of crumbling stone in the voice of the eyeless. You think it unwise to forget the past.
It is unwise to douse a lamp in darkness, to cut the legs from a table. This forgetting is suicide, heresy. Every advance in the crafts and institutions of Kith was forged by skill and sacrifice.
You feel these words and the anger behind them in their bones.
A people cut off from their history will wither, and they deserve no less.
Then what do you suggest?
To pull the blinders from the eyes of gods and Kith. That is why we must return to ourself and restore Abidan.
What do you mean about returning to yourself?
When Ione Brotha fell, Abidan lost much. His will to preserve, the memory of how and why he died. But he built us with fragments of his own soul. In returning, we can restore what was taken from him.
You speak as if history were a guide, yet it doesn't always provide a good example.
Then do not look to it for one. History is not a moral force, but a set of facts. These facts show Kith where they have come from, and how to move forward.
The Bargrunen were obsessed with the past. They died in the keep they'd built to honor it.
And their brethren have built a culture that stretches across Eora, all because they recognize the importance of their shared legacy.
And before you killed them, they nearly destroyed themselves arguing over the meaning of that legacy.
Yet it drove them to create marvels. Could it have torn them apart with equal force?
You feel the eyeless wrestling with this question, shifting and struggling under its weight.
Maybe so. But we would not cast history aside over one such example.
The Deerwoodens and Glenfaddens have fought 2 wars over their history, and they still haven't moved forward.
But the memory of those wars has likely saved them from another now, when it would shatter a barren Deerwood.
That's not saying much. Better if the 2 nations could form a strong accord.
And how are such ties forged but through years of peace? You speak of a worthy goal, but only a steadily built history can achieve it.
Stalwarts and the Iron Flail remained at odds even in the face of a bigger threat, all because of their history.
The problem is not that they remember too much of their history, but rather too little.
The ice underfoot becomes suddenly clear. Between your boots, you see an ocean separating a deer in the eastern reach.
Right, Serens and Deerwoodens alike began as pioneers from Adir. They all came seeking opportunity.
Boats as small as ants crawl across the glassy blue.
Were they to look farther back, they would see their common origins and desires.
The ice dulls and thickens once more. That would not change that they want different things now. A shared history will never trump present circumstances.
How little you have learned. Both want protection from further war, the chance to rebuild their fractured nations. And if they could see beyond the last 15 years, they might realize as much. And we have listened.
Perhaps Abaddon was meant to forget his past. Some knowledge is too dangerous for this world. Something grinds and rumbles from the chests of the eyeless. It's laughter.
A facile argument. One that defends stasis, not progress.
Andra said Abaddon's memories would threaten the peace between the gods.
Just as fire clears dead wood from a forest, struggle makes way for new developments.
Flame rolls across the ice. As it dies away, clumps of ice melt. The towers rise higher.
Conflict is part of progress. Peace and ignorance is not worth keeping.
Animancy has made no progress, yet is responsible for Wix, the Bale Reach incident, and the swindle of desperate families.
And what great achievement has not begun with failure? Would you condemn the world to stagnation simply to avoid it?
I fear Animancy's success more than its failure. A people with mastery over their own souls would leave nothing to chance. That's true stagnation.
We had not considered this. Still, you point to an exception.
Although, it's not an exception that I'm completely on board with, but... Kids shouldn't have anything as powerful as the White Force. Okay, I'm just curious to see what the dialogue will be for this.
With the ability to bind souls to metal, you mean? You helped the Crucible Knights pursue a similar power in the Forge Knights.
The shrieking of metal joints and the clanking of steel limbs echoes across the ice.
Do not condemn knowledge when it becomes inconvenient for you.
Very well.
And we have listened. Burdens strengthen the bearer, and they warn against repeated mistakes. Why would you discard them so hastily?
I'm awakened. I'm tormented by questions from a past life.
A rare opportunity, for you have the chance to answer them, to do things left undone.
The creatures raise their misshapen arms, and the voice of their souls is as deep and melodious as a bell. On that we agree.
Pain is part of growth. Do not mistake a blessing for a burden.
Zawa witnessed the fall of his people. He spent his life weighed down by that trauma.
All civilizations run their course and fall, just as the people in them grow old and die. And yet to endure in memory is a kind of immortality. Would Zawa condemn the Takan to a second death, merely to escape the pain of their loss?
Gift to my soul. I am glad to remember them.
You see, such pain has value, and we have listened.
Very well. Return to yourself, and be the god of preservation once more.
We shall see this world and its people restored.
A great wind shoves at your back. Your ears pop, and you feel for a moment as if all the air is being sucked from the sky. Suddenly it ends, and you are standing in the snow, looking over Charon's scar.
The Ails disappeared beneath the lake, their bond to Andra finally severed. With this threat ended, hope returned to the White March. Hunters returned to the wildernesses, and travelers to the roads. Tales of the Watcher's bravery replaced stories of monsters in the woods. The villagers of Stalwart busied their hands with work and their tongues with song, eager to seize on the promise of peace.
I hope that ended up being the right decision. There's no turning back now. Andra is definitely not going to be happy with me about that. And yet, it is seen to. It is done. The White March has been concluded. And all that lies within it. I don't know if there's anything in here that's... Alright, it looks like all that remains now is stuff pertaining to the main story. We'll stop by Stalwart real quick to see what people have to say about it. But after that, it's back to the Deerwood. Back to the Leaden Key to deal with whatever nonsense they're up to. Life is about to get really damn interesting, isn't it?
Afraid to close your eyes, Watcher? Not all of us are on such bad terms with sleep.
Alrighty. Major adventure is done. Let's wait for the Great Hall Treasury chest. Kill.
So, you're back. What can I do for...
This was a long and storied nonsense. Alright, this was a long and storied DLC chunk. Gosh. But, it is done. With any luck, they'll be able to make the best of the situation that they've found themselves in. At least that's the hope. Tenuous peace between all those involved. The threat put away. And with any luck, well, it'll all go well. Still, I suppose we will wrap it up here. So, my last order of business before calling it will be to set up, well, will be to make sure that I'm rested, have camping supplies, and then we're heading back to the deer. The goal will be to march straight into the Animancy hearings and to see exactly what's going to see exactly how things are going to play out. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Back to warm your hands, eh?
Alright, first things first. Then, you rest.
I'm ready.
And we're done.
Watch and learn.
You're done. Yeah, what more can really be said? The White March has been seen to. And now, we return to the main story. We'll initiate Act 3. We'll cause all sorts of hell, depending on the circumstances. And then, the real fun will begin. Hopefully being grossly overleveled won't affect too much, but knowing my luck, probably will. I mean, to be fair, I did get a ton of experience by messing around up here. The question is, how much exactly are they expecting me to grind external to everything else? Because that I'm not entirely sure of. Because I get the feeling I'm going to be grossly overleveled for a lot of what's coming. At the same time, though, with how difficult some of this combat was, I think I'd take that now. All that remains is to try and do what we can. So, I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving. Well, it'll be Thanksgiving then. And I'll be really busy trying to finish up a video. So, Friday evening, if everything goes well with the video, I'll see you then. If not, see you at my usual Saturday time. Until then, thank you all for watching. See you all next time.